10 a.m. Santa's coming to town.
Santa! Oh my God!
Hey, what is going on, people? As you can see, there's a bunch of my action figures that were on display. I've actually taken on a project of updating my toy shelf. So if you've seen my last videos, there were a bunch of like flowery displays on there that I really had nothing to do with. So what I did is I cleared it off, and I wanted to extend the surface. So I used a couple of boxes to extend the surface, and then I reinforced it with painter's tape. And I use painter's tape just because I don't want it to ruin the surface of this wood. I don't want it to be destroyed. And also, I decide to use these boxes, I also do not want them to be destroyed. So if I need to use them in the future, they're not messed up. So take a step up here. So I reinforced the area, extended it, and then I made these boxes, or I constructed them just so I could have a raised surface, so I could fit more action figures on here. And so initially I thought these two boxes would make like a flat surface, but there's a gap in the middle. So what I did is, well, these are medium priority boxes. So I took a couple of the smaller boxes and I taped them together. I'm just gonna slide it in the middle, and that's good enough. I was thinking of putting another two and extending the surface a little bit further. I think that would probably be a good look as well. The reason for this is that I wanted to display my Star Wars figures, especially after seeing The Last Jedi. I was like, you know what, I need to display these figures. So taking on this project. So this is where I'm at so far. I'm probably going to make another couple of these boxes, extend the surface, and then I'm going to start displaying the action figures that I want on this particular surface. Alright, so I finally finished my toy shelf, and in the middle of doing this I realized why I don't do this as often as I would like, and it's because it is a very, very long, tedious task, but it's pretty rewarding after you get finished. So I'll just explain like how I divided this up, and I guess my thought process behind all of this. I would have liked to cover most of the boxes that say priority mail, but I don't think, you know, when you look at this, your eyes aren't going to draw you down to this particular particular placement. But looking at all of this and realizing current events, right? So like Disney merged with Fox, and so looking at this whole shelf, like I'd say a good 90% of all of these toys have something to do with Disney in some form or fashion. They're either owned by Disney or they're licensed by Disney. Alright, so I'm gonna grab a ladder so I could get a higher point of view so I can describe my toy shelf. Alright, so I grabbed the ladder and I'm gonna start from the back. And so the back is mostly Marvel Legends, with the exception of this Marvel Select Doctor Doom, which is my favorite Doctor Doom figure right now. So what I did is I basically started with the villains, and I realized I didn't have enough villains to fill this. And these aren't all my Marvel Legends. I really wanted to display all of my X-Men related characters, and then in between display the characters that I picked up within the last year, which is this Ares, which is an awesome figure. Got this Deadpool within maybe the last 18 months. Picked this up earlier this year in anticipation of the new Guardians of the Galaxy movie. This is also a great figure, the Sunfire character, probably the only Asian mutant character, which sucks. I wish there was more representation of Asian characters in Marvel, but I mean, whatever. Then this is an old school Toy Biz. It's like a retro version. It's not in its original colors, but I do like this color scheme because if you look, they made the paint much more dynamic. And there's a crack right here, if you can see that. I had to super glue that. I was super afraid that it was gonna break. This is my favorite Superman of all time. It's the DC Direct. I think it was from the Hush series, which is also one of my favorite Batman. Actually, my favorite Batman storyline of all time. Just the way it was executed. It was Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb, so they're two of my favorites. I mean, it was such a great time for DC. I'm not going to go through all these characters. I mean, I just want to show you how they divided it. Yeah, so these were mostly all the villains. I had to put Gambit up there and Sunfire and Deadpool just because I wanted the weight to be distributed better. Scarlet Witch there. I wish I had a Quicksilver. The Quicksilver that came out for the early Hasbro Marvel Legend years wasn't that great. So hopefully they'll come out with a new one. I really love this Mr. Sinister character, this figure from Toy Biz. And now that Disney has bought out Fox, maybe Hasbro will come out with more X-Men waves for the Marvel Legends, because I had picked all of those up. That's really, besides the Avengers stuff, which I'm not really crazy about, I think the X-Men stuff has really invigorated my my interest in Marvel Legends. Alright, so that back corner was supposed to be my villains. I mean, it's not all villains, but I did my best. Up front are most of my Marvel Legends X-Men Heroes characters. There's a lot of Toy Biz and Hasbro mix in there. That's the Red Hulk, Wolverine, the Tiger Stripe one. It's pretty good. I did see pictures for the new one that's coming out, which looks amazing. This is the X-Men Classics Toy Biz Nightcrawler. It's the Ultimate Nightcrawler. That's from a recent wave. I think it was the Doug Lock one, which I still haven't completed. I really love that Bishop in the back here. I'm gonna knock it down. Toy Biz. Love this Rogue. It's probably the greatest Rogue that's ever made. The only problem though is like they didn't. Her eyes are a bit cross-eyed. So, excuse me. Then this is the X-Men Classics Archangel, which is really awesome. And then this is the X-Men versus the Avengers versus X-Men Cable. I think this is like he had his own miniseries before that, and I think that's what it was really based on. And he was such a badass in that one. It was pretty awesome. This is my Toy Biz Marvel Legends Colossus. I love how it's sculpted and how it's painted. The only problem is posing the damn figure. It's the weight is not distributed well. All the weight is up top, and the legs are loose now, so it can't really hold the pose unless I lean it against something. And then here's my Havoc, and I like to call it the Starjammers Havoc. So that's when he took over Starjammers. When he came out, though, like, you know, a lot of people were calling him P Squad, which, I mean, I could understand, but you know, Havoc is, to me, he's one of my favorite characters of all time. Like, I like him more than Cyclops. Excuse me. See, oh, and then I've got the Bandai Power Rangers, the White Ranger and the Green Ranger. I didn't want to get any of the other ones because it's just not like their dimensions aren't right. Like they just look all awkward, in my opinion. So I just wanted to get these two. These are the two better looking ones. And I did see the Zeo Black Ranger, which I am planning on getting. I was a big fan of Zeo, and I think that's when I stopped watching originally. So I always thought the Black Ranger was badass from the Zeo series, so I might pick that up. This is my die-cast Blue Lion Voltron character. Still haven't finished the set, but right now that's the only Voltron toy I have. And here's Fungus Fries. I did a review on him just recently. Dodgy Donut. Amazing series. I had to put them in the front because they're shorter. And then in the middle I wanted to showcase like a variety of like minifigures and just things that I don't really display at the forefront. Like, so I have, these are my only Masters of the Universe characters, toys in my collection. These are the Mega Constructs, He-Man and Skeletor. Almost forgot his name. And I got the Diamond Select, Kingdom Hearts Mickey Mouse, the Bandai one, Bandai Goofy. Then I got this vinyl right here. It's supposed to be a keychain, but I didn't want it. Here's a vintage head knocker from 1927, I think it said. Here, let me take a look. Okay, I couldn't find a date on it, but I do know that I picked it up from a vintage collector at the Kane County Toy Fair. Always find great stuff there, so I'm always excited to go there. Alright, so moving back, so the Sentinel, then a lot of my Disney characters. It's a mixture of my DC Classic Universe characters, and I got one DC icon, Green Arrow right there. Got the MCU, the Marvel Knights, the Punisher, Jessica Jones, Marvel Knights, Daredevil, and then the Toy Biz Moon Knight in this gray costume. I don't have the variant white, which I would love to have, but if I find it, I find it. If I don't, I don't. You know, it's not one of the things that's on my priority list. Vintage Darkwing Duck with this Ratcatcher. Don't have the hat. I am looking for those Funko figures. Slept on the pre-order, but hopefully if they have them at FYE, I will pick them up. If not, then I'm sure I'll see them eventually. Hopefully not outrageously priced. Okay, in the back, here's my Ghostbusters figures, and you know, this is just like a good number of my collection that I've actually, it's not even like 1/5 of my collection. I mean, it's collected over the course of what my years on this earth. So yeah, I'm a big Muppets fan, so it's a mixture of the Palisades and Diamond Select. The Palisades, of course, are the larger figures, so the larger Kermit and Fozzie, and then in the background the smaller figures are the Diamond Select, which they are pretty good figures. I'm not sure if they ended the line. Still need to pick up the Beaker. There's Animal. Unfortunately, his drum set was broken. Long story. My two favorite are the cynical men. That's Statler and Waldorf, I think. I'm sure you guys will correct me. And a Funko Rocketeer, and then here's my small collection of 6-inch Black Series. As you guys can tell, like the majority of the figures that I have set up are 6-inch scale, which is my favorite scale, of course, and I think that's what the industry prefers right now, is the 6-inch scale. I mean, before it was a 3.75 inch. But these are pretty good figures. The head sculpts could be a lot better. I do see that, you know, Hasbro is incorporating the new face stock technology with the Marvel Legends characters. So hopefully they'll incorporate that with these Star Wars figures in the future. With the exception of this figure, I think this figure is supposed to be a retro figure of the old Kenner line. So I could understand that. But great figures, and this is my new setup. Pretty happy with how it turned out. I'm gonna try to zoom out for like a possible thumbnail. And that's what it looks like.